thought about, okay, what do I say in less than 5 minutes that can have the biggest impact in your business this year? And over the last 28 years, I've built 7 different businesses myself and have coached and consulted over probably about 2,000 different business owners around the world. And one of the things that I discovered in coaching and consulting all those people is out of everything that you can possibly invest in, it all comes down to the beginning and the end with mindset. And one of the mindsets of a champion is that there's always room to grow. How many of you would agree with that statement? Okay? How many of you believe that you have potential inside of you right now to grow beyond where you're currently at? How many would understand that, right? So let me kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So one day there's this guy named Bill, and he's having dinner with his wife in a restaurant, and he decides he has to go to the restroom, so he gets up and he walks into the restroom. He sees this guy named Fred. And Fred's standing in front of the urinal, looking there at the urinal. He seems to be frustrated. Fred looks at Bill, looks back at the urinal, and without any hesitation, because see, he had managed to drop a $5 bill inside that urinal. And so without any hesitation, he reaches in his back pocket and he tosses a $50 bill inside the urinal. And Bill looks at Fred and goes, "What did you do that for? I mean, that's $50. And Fred looks back at him and he kind of smirks. He goes, "Well, come on, man. You don't think I'm going to reach my hand in there for $5, do you?" And so the moral of the story, kind of quirky little story, but the moral of the story is this. When you have a reason, when the stakes are high enough, you'll do things that you would not normally do in life and in business. How many of you would agree with what I'm talking about, right? So let me give you something that you can actually implement now and all throughout the year so you can have the best mindset that you possibly can, so you can have the greatest year that you've ever had in life and in business. How many of you would like to have the greatest year that you've ever had? Okay? So one of the best people that I have ever studied about mindset is about the great Michael Jordan. Now, for those of you that don't know, which is probably a rarity, Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time. And what made Michael Jordan great wasn't the fact that he was born as an exceptionally talented athlete, which is true, but if you think about it, in order to even play in the NBA, you have to be great. But what made Michael Jordan so great was what he did in the off season. And every single off season, after he'd finished the season, he would go back and he would watch hundreds of hours of video of him playing basketball. And he'd have a little notepad there and he'd make a list of all the different things that he would like to improve in his game. And through a process of deduction, through a process of combination, he would whittle it down to one thing. Not 20 things, not 50 things, one thing. What's the one thing that would make the biggest impact overall in his game? And then he'd go out and he'd hire the mentor, he would hire the coaches, he would invest a tremendous amount of time and energy and effort into that one thing. Because one of the things he discovered is he will push himself even farther if somebody's holding him accountable. And so one year it was his left hand. And that's all he did the entire off season was work on his left hand. The next year it was his strength training. And it was that discipline, it was that system, it was that focus that made Michael Jordan great. Well, it's Michael Jordan. What about you and I? Now, one of the things I know about every single one of you in here is that you're unique. That you are already great and you are the greatest at what you do. You know how I know that? Because according to Google, when I did the research last night, there's 7.53 billion people on the planet. Now, to put that into perspective, 1 million seconds of time is 12 days. 1 billion seconds of time is 32 years. And we're talking 7.53 billion, which makes you unique because you're the only one that has your fingerprints. You're the only one that has your DNA. So what if you went back and looked at 2018 and you got really honest with yourself and you looked at every area of your life and you made a list of all the things that you would like to see improved, and then through a process of elimination, combination, you came up with one thing that you can work on this year that would have the biggest impact in your life. And then once you find that out, here's what I want you to do. Invest in yourself. Go find somebody that can help you. Hire a coach, hire a mentor. Do whatever it takes to focus on that one thing. And I promise you this, if you do that, it will be the best year that you've ever had. Because you're doing what champions do. How many of you think that would be a good idea? Okay? How many of you are going to go do that? Okay? So here's what I want to do for you. Hand me your business card, and I'm going to put in a Dropbox folder a crap ton of free resources to help you get there. You don't even have to contact me. Just go in there, download it all, take execution on that, and you will have the best year that you've ever had, not only in business, but in your life. So, again, how many of you are committed? Awesome. Go out and make it happen.